Alan, welcome to my podcast world.
Thank you for inviting me.
Congratulations one more time. I think you heard it a lot in the last couple of weeks, and best of luck to Coach Mumbru with his health. Like with all the circumstances that transpired. But I'm sure you had the last couple of weeks full of media attention, and you're used to now talking to me also in English. Probably we're used to talking in German, but now to reach a different audience, we're talking in English.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. Yeah, it's been, like you said, it's been a really busy time. Actually, more busy than the Eurobasket itself. But yeah, it's always better if it's busy for a good reason than for, I don't know, for a bad reason. So, like you said, the circumstances were not really great, but yeah, I think all of us kind of did our job and tried to make the best of it.
Yes, good stress versus bad stress. That's the classic example that I always give people, that some things you can enjoy and you can deal with the stress, and some things you shouldn't have to. But the stress you dealt with in the Eurobasket, especially the whole situation with Coach Mumbru and the health, and he was trying to be on the sideline. I was wondering about the whole process behind the scenes, the communication between you and him. How did it transpire? How was the communication for you to step into his role, even before the Eurobasket, but during the Eurobasket especially?
Well, I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, nobody knew kind of what to expect. I mean, obviously, the situation itself was unexpected. So, but then also we didn't have like any kind of blueprint, how people deal with these type of things. So it was really tough in the beginning, especially because we didn't know much what really happened, how he's doing, and that was, yeah, pretty tough for coaching staff, I think for the team too, but for the whole group, let's say, of German Basketball Federation there. But after 1 or 2 days, I mean, first 2 days we didn't want to kind of, we just he needed to recover and to be taken care of, and so we didn't communicate much. But after first 2 days, I think he was kind of from the hospital back in business. He was watching games. We were talking or writing on a phone, and yeah, he was involved as much as he could in like planning the next game plan, or also analyzing the games before. So yeah, then I think after a week or so, he came back to the hotel, and it was easier because then we would meet in a hotel room or even a meeting room, and he started also attending team meetings. So then it then became much easier than before.
Yeah, it's in person is different, but you know what's undervalued, and I thought about it a lot because I tend to overthink also. But and it's a very delicate situation in regards to mutual respect for the roles. Like you're stepping into his role and he's stepping into your role while he's the head coach and has the title of the head coach. And I think it's undervalued of how much he has to also get credit for being able to step back and giving you the role and giving you this platform to let you coach. Because when two head coaches coach at the same time, it's going to be chaos. And I think he realized that also when he was trying to come back and he was trying to stand on the sideline. And then it's like, all I'm trying to say is there's a lot of respect that he deserves as well for taking this role and stepping backwards, and for the benefit of the whole group.
100%. I mean, yeah, that's what I also always say, and what I told to him. I mean, you would say now in retrospect, it was like a logical move, but it's not easy for sure.
But not easy, yeah.
You work the whole summer, you have a really good team, really great chances, and then to kind of step back, or just maybe aside is a better term than not. He wasn't back, he was just aside. He was a head coach, he was involved in everything, but yeah, he couldn't coach on a sideline, and just the way he did it, and especially like you said, he tried in the game versus Portugal, and I think it was, for both of us, was a strange situation, strange game. So he realized that probably is better to let me be on the side during the games, and he said, you're doing like you're doing everything like a head coach. I'm going to support you. I trust you. I respect your work, and I'm going to do everything I can to help. And again, it sounds like a logical move, but I know it's not easy at all, because it's like you said, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of just also respect for the other guy to do something like that. And I think that's what helped me a lot, because from day one, actually, also before the Eurobasket or before the FIBA windows, from day one, he started working for the federation. We established really good connection. We were in touch all the time, and even this short period of time, because for this type of challenge, for this type of competition, I think it's a really short period. It's been a short period of time we were working together. But yeah, I'm happy that we kind of established a good connection and a good level of trust. And yeah, happy for him to be back hopefully in November, and to continue the successful way.
Yeah, this trust is the key word here, because I have a perfect metaphor for that, and that happens to be that I tried it yesterday, bouldering, like the like climbing up the wall, and then I was it was actually I have a rope on me, and I'm not just free climbing, so like you have to trust somebody to be there, and you have to communicate with them downstairs or down on the ground, and I was observing myself while I was climbing up, and then when you're done, when you're all the way up, you have to tell them to, like, I'm ready to go down, and they have to secure the rope. They have to hold it, two of them. They have to prepare the whole process of you roping down, and you have to let go. You have to let go of the wall, and like just jump backwards, and it's gonna slowly get you down. Man, can you imagine like being 20 meters up and then letting go, and you have to trust them downstairs, like then to I mean, the rope is secured also, so it's gonna catch you automatically, because and then you just go, but you have to deal with your own. It's more about your own trust to them, and that and I realized that that's something like letting go and controlling the situation is something that I have a hard time with.
100%. I think everybody does, and I mean, I imagined also me in that situation. In his situation, it would have been really tough for me as well. And again, especially we're talking about somebody or you've known for maybe a year. I don't know when he started, but kind of for not for that long period of time. And we're not like working together on day-to-day basis, but kind of in these windows and in between. We're talking, but we're not around each other every day. So it is tough. And yeah, like you said, huge respect for him. And
Yeah.
I'm happy that we kind of got it done the way we did. And yeah, I think that it helped that we didn't really have a choice. That's, you didn't have a preparation time. You didn't have, like you said, you're overthinking. We didn't have time to overthink or to think at all. It's just, okay, it happened, and now we have to do something. You have to react, you have to adapt. And I think it helped a lot. I think if we had like 3 weeks, 4 weeks in advance, it would have been much tougher for both of us to deal with the situation.
That's the best part in coaching, when you have like, it's a dynamic, you don't have time to overthink. You have to react, and you have to work with instincts. A lot of times you have to see, like, if you have principles you go by, then it's easier to make a decision quicker. When you have more time, a week or 2 weeks, you start, like you're going back and forth. And anyway, I wanted to use this run that you guys had with the book that I'm reading right now. Like, and shout out to Adrian from Valencia. He gave me this recommendation, which I didn't. I should have known about this book, but I didn't ever investigate this thoroughly. The Art of Winning by Bill Belichick. It's about his coaching career with the Patriots, and everybody knows that they've been like the most successful franchise in football, and just the culture they created. And I'm listening to it because he's reading it, so it's very powerful to listen to it in his words. And that's the first time I'm listening to a book. And he was talking about winning streaks in one part of this book, and I think they won 21 games, if I'm not mistaken. So he said we didn't win 21 games in a row. We won one game 21 times. So he's talking about the art of preparing each game at a time, and not really thinking about, like, this is how we always play, because each game has its own kind of dynamic to it. And you guys won 9 in a row. I'm not counting the preparation, but nine games in a row. And what's your take on that? Like, how do you look at it of preparing game to game and not looking at it at a winning streak and staying on course?
I mean, perfectly described. That's also how we went about all this tournament. And in general, I try. I mean, a lot of experience with the tournaments with the youth, obviously, and that's how I tried to kind of work and go take it by game. And every game we either win or lose, we say, okay, next game starts 0-0. So even if you win by, we had this situation in Finland in the first phase of the Eurobasket, where we won like by a huge margin. But everyone was, not only me but also the team. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 or by 30. Next game you start 0-0, and it doesn't mean anything for next game. So you have to work again, work as hard as you did, follow the game plan, which might change or which had changed, like according to the opponent you face, and just go give everything these 40 minutes. So of course it gives you kind of confidence, a better feeling if you can win a couple of games in a row, but still it can also be dangerous. That's in the end, that's the trick. That's why they say, okay, it's much easier to win than to like win twice or to repeat the winning the title. And I 100% agree with this, because again, there's not many teams. They all say, I don't know, in soccer it's Bayern Munich or whoever in like NBA, these dynasties. Yeah, they had the best team and they had the best coach and everything, but still, I think it's really tough if you're like, you're number one. Everyone wants to beat you. Like every time you come into town, the crowd gets crazy. The team is hot. They want to beat you. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of quality, but it also a lot of character to become a winning team, like the Patriots or the Celtics, Lakers, you name it.
Yeah, he talked about confidence also. As you say, like being confident is the result of the work that you put in. It's like a day-to-day grind that you become confident with the time, and then it's a matter of not becoming too overconfident, like too confident. So hubris plays a role there. How do you control that? Like do you notice guys getting a little bit ahead of themselves? Do you reel them back in? Do you talk to them on the side? Or is that like a group dynamic that takes care of it within the culture itself?
That, I mean, depends on the team. This year, for sure, you didn't have to do much because they never got overconfident. They were really kind of perfectly clear. We are good and we are a team to beat, but we have to do our job, because nothing's gonna come along. Like no one is gonna come in and say, okay, you're better than us, you take a win, but we have to work and work hard for it. So there was no danger of becoming overconfident. So, but in general, I tried to talk to people, or if it's within a game with a timeout, or if it's between games, just kind of talking. But again, it's also a matter of trust. It's if you work with players for a longer period of time, you know them, and you can also identify or kind of translate if it's overconfidence or if it's something else. Just feeling it's feeling good. I mean, it's nothing bad about feeling good about itself, like being confident and also having fun. But it's a kind of small margin. You never know. That's the thin line. What they say, you never know when it's too much. But I would rather have like quality team and confident deal with these problems than trying to kind of
uplift them all the time. Yeah. And I think it depends on the leadership also as well. Like Bill Belichick itself, but then they had Tom Brady also. You have a certain amount of like example going forward that keeps everybody in check, that they can follow and orient themselves by.
For sure. And again, if you compare it, or if you take this Eurobasket team, we had like two people who were leading the way on different ways, but in the end, same with the same idea. So it was, and everyone else was also actually locked in. So there was no issue at all.
Yeah. But let's tell the guys a little bit, they're listening, that don't know you as well. I mean, you're a household name in Germany, but you have also a very international background. I mean, according to Wikipedia, you were born in Belgrade, right?
Yep.
Born in Belgrade. lived in Bosnia, raised in Bosnia, then came to Germany, then Australia, then back to Germany, just to give like the short version of it. How do you, where do you see was the biggest impact for you, and how did the like multicultural background impact you as a person?
Well, you did it pretty well. So in short, that's how it happened. I mean, yeah, I was obviously I was born in a former Yugoslavia. It was one country back then. So for me, I also grew up there, and my whole life until 14, we were together, and that's where I think the love for the sports and especially for basketball also right. And yeah, then after the war started in '92, we moved to Berlin, or my family and me. So I was 14, and of course, I grew up in Bosnia. So there's for sure impact, or also parents and everything. But I think this period from 14 to uh, 20, so first 6 years in Berlin were really big, like for my development as a person, I would say. Learning a new
Hmm.
language, just this whole new kind of lifestyle, whole new country. I mean, I didn't speak a word of German when I arrived, so it's I didn't.
And
I
you were
mean,
14 when you arrived?
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I followed sports, but I didn't know much about the country, about everything, and that was interesting time for sure. Also to arrive. I mean, it was short after the reunification. Was also in Berlin was a special place to be, and it was, I mean, huge experience. And again, I think that's a period which kind of shaped me the most in my just personal development.
Why Australia after that?
Yeah, that was my parents, because they, after when I finished school and the war ended, my parents weren't allowed to stay in Germany anymore, so I could have stayed probably as a student or whatever. But yeah, they didn't want to go back, and we had family in Australia, so they moved, and I went with them, so to kind of help them get accustomed to. And I mean, it's a huge difference, like a whole different story, different continent, far away. Usually, once you go there, you never come back. So
Yeah,
it's
that's why I'm surprised. Like it's coming back after that to Germany is like a big step as well.
yeah. So we were in Melbourne. It was like, I mean, it was good. It was also really good at like improving, or yeah, mastering my English, even though it's a little bit different than US or English, or
Yeah.
English. So, and again, new country, new culture, really nice. Also met a lot of friends. So yeah, it was a nice experience. But I actually, from the day one, I knew I was gonna come back to Berlin actually. So, and that's what I told my parents, and I guess they assumed, yeah, okay, once I'm there, it will go away, but it didn't. So I stayed there, made sure they kind of started a new life, and I also, again, I enjoyed the time there for like most of the time. But I knew I was gonna go back, because I like Europe. I told you about the time in Berlin. It was so important for me. I really felt at home. A lot of friends there, so I knew I was going to go back. And yeah, then after a couple of years in Melbourne, I decided to go back and study in Berlin. So
And your
that's,
parents stayed there?
yeah, they stay there.
They.
They're not. They came back, I think 2014 or something. So they stayed for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
Once they stopped working, so once they stopped working, they came back or they went back to Bosnia, because it's. I mean, they have family there, and they're like, again, we are much closer, me and my family now. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason.
Yeah, so they went back to Boston, not Germany, and you stayed in
Yeah,
Germany,
yeah.
and yeah, and so what at what time, what part of that did basketball come into play?
Well, basketball was always around.
Was
So
always already back in Bosnia.
yeah. I started already, I think, in fourth grade or something, playing, and then continued. And that's that. I think basketball was played a huge part of me uh, feeling so comfortable in Berlin, because that's when I
Mm-hmm.
started playing. I met friends again. improved language more and more. We traveled, we played. I was playing for. Alba didn't have a youth back then, so I was playing for club they kind of were associated with. So in the second league, and yeah, it was pretty nice time. I mean, that's basketball kind of, I think, made my adjustment to Germany much easier. And
It's
also in Australia, I met some people also, but it was more kind of fun because it was just not much time, new country, everything was new. So just making like a normal routine
yeah.
took me a while. So I actually, unfortunately, I had to quit playing let's say on a higher level, because I played second league in Germany until I was 20, and then more or less then Australia was the end of my basketball career. I played back in Germany again, but it was more again just having fun and
Yeah.
playing with friends.
Socializing. Yeah. What is there something you took away from Australia, from the culture itself, that you're still holding like dearly, that you feel like that's makes them unique?
I mean, it's they love sports. They love like outdoors, just everything outdoors. Just very socializing people. So that's what I liked. I mean, it was nice. People were very friendly, and I always like it, not always, but good mood was like a good vibes all over the place. I mean, again, speaking about s- being born in a former Yugoslavia and being like a huge basketball country, and me as a basketball nerd, it was a little bit different. I was used to not used to that much of like positivity, let's say,
There you go.
and that was I, I wouldn't say it took me time to adjust, because I didn't. So it was like, okay, that's not that. This is not
That's
not
not how it works.
that's not, no, that's not what I'm used to. So yeah, that was I remember that for sure. And yeah, but in general, again, really kind of beautiful country first. Like nature is beautiful.
For sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
very open-minded and friendly people. So, and this excitement, joy, watching sports, playing sports themselves, it was pretty amazing.
That's interesting. Also, point like how do you balance positivity and negativity because of the culture in former Yugoslavia, also, and I mean, in Lithuania as well. Like, I mean, it's more negativity, and it's more rigid, and strict coaching, and straight to the point, nothing in between the lines, with a lot of curse words. And in Germany, there was like, neutral. It's like a more of a neutral background in terms of how to be coached, how to talk to people, and how to get the best out of them, was a different way of how we're used to it, let's say. I mean, I grew up in Germany, so I was like, I knew the differences when I saw coaching in Lithuania, and that was like a different aspect to it. But how do you balance it? Because there's other way as well, And when Coach Pesic won the Eurobasket in the '90s with Germany, there's also like a big influx of coaches from former Yugoslavia that came to Germany, that impacted the German basketball as well. But then also that style combined with the German culture, there's also some conflict of interest there in regards to communication. How do you balance that?
Well, I mean, I'm still, I would say, more like a in coaching, more like a negative guy, or I focus more on things that don't work well. So, but I mean, in general, I just believe, okay, times change, obviously. Also, I guess in Lithuania or in former Yugoslavia, also time change. People are different now, so you have to. And for me, I didn't have to change that perspective. So being straight and also strict with people, but not being like personal,
Yeah.
and that will kind of also we were or are used to, or were used as a kids. Like that's I never liked that myself as a player, so I tried to avoid it also as a coach. But I guess in some kind of toughness or yeah, being strict is also necessary. But I always say, I think when once the people or players get to know you and know your objectives, and they realize, okay, this guy is interested in my improvement, then it's a different story.
Hmm.
Because I really don't like people who are like judge from the side. They don't know you, they don't know the player. They don't know anything, and it's just like he is too positive or too negative, whatever it is. Like that doesn't have to be this topic, any topic. I say, okay, but you don't know the relationship. Maybe they work together, or they've been working together for 6 years, and kid knows how to take it, or the coach knows how to tell him. And some players can deal with criticism without any problems. Some players you have to be really careful with. So I think it's a thing of experience. And this is what I like about the way basketball also developed. It's an individual thing. So it's you cannot kind of have your blueprint. Okay, that's who I am, and or that's who I am. You can, but that's how I kind of deal with any type of person, because that doesn't work, and it's a big challenge. I mean, in any team sports, so you have individuals, and then you have to make a team, and also make a team work. So yeah, it's very challenging. So I don't know how to. I mean, I've been talking a lot about your question without really answering. I think I think other people have to answer this question. You know, how someone deals from their perspective. I try to, like, again, I'm pretty strict on things, but I always try to be also positive. But I'm like in the heat of a moment, I would say still more negative guy.
Yeah, but I think that's the key also about the multicultural background that I feel also helped me in regards to connecting to players and connecting to people in general, because there's different ways of doing things, and then you get a better read on the person of how he reacts, what he likes, what he doesn't like, and the person opposite of you, let's say a player in that case, if he knows that you care about him, like you say, like in his best interest, then he's going to take it. But you also have to have this experience, this intuition that, okay, like this is, maybe I should say it a little bit differently to him in front of the group than I do it in person, and vice versa. So the multicultural background helps in a way of connecting with people, because you have a samples from different cultures, and okay, this fits there, this fits. It's like a puzzle pieces that you put together a lot of times.
Yeah, for sure it helps. But I mean, now at least in Germany, but in general, I think basketball is multicultural anyway. So you always have players or also coaches from different backgrounds, and I think now everybody's more used to than it was. I don't know, 10 or 20 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna go into the juniors coaching German youth development right after this. But I wanna first show you my sponsor, and I wanna share the screen with you, because it's proballs.com, and they're doing statistics. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
So that's something that I want to go back. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay. I'm signed in, I hope, and I'm gonna go into Germany, and we're gonna go into they already have the future window games, as you see, Israel and then Cyprus, but we're gonna go onto the box score of the final against Turkey, and it's hold on. I waited too long a little bit to keep the browser open. Here we go. It's loading. All right. So when you look at statistics at box scores, and you before the game, like before the game of the opponents, then at halftime sometimes, but if you look at the box score of your final against Turkey, what have you looked at it at all after the game, or are you just like like that's it, I'm gone?
To be honest, the second one that I probably after a week or two, I think I looked something up. Yeah, but
yeah, because it's kind of hard
to game at Eurobasket. No, I was just okay. Let's go.
Yeah. Like it's enough now to analyze. But generally speaking, now if you take a look at this, like what are the things you look at after the games that you feel like you have to pay attention to, especially going into the next game?
When we talk about ourselves now for the Eurobasket, we looked actually for, which is not on there, but you can easily calculate it, the number of possessions, because obviously we tried to go high pace and play a lot of possessions, and we want to have more 3-point shots and 2-point shots. So that's also something we looked at. And rebounding for sure is a big offensive rebounding. I mean, still after Eurobasket, you could say that's one part of the game we didn't really feel great with. So we think we should have done better, both, but especially on offensive rebounding. So these are the main things we do. We are not really worried about turnover. I mean, depends always on what kind of turnovers. But if you want to go high pace and play a lot of possessions, you will have turnovers and more than the opponent. Maybe so. That was not a big part. I mean, assist to turnover ratio is pretty important for us also, and that's been. I mean, the whole tournament was really good because we moved the ball, we found the guys, so we played as a team, and that's important. So I would say these 3 or 4 aspects of the game.
Yeah, you can see like you had seven more turnovers, but you also had 7 more assists than them. So kind of that evened out, and then you won the rebounding battle. They did shoot more free throws than you. So I look at the free throws as well a lot of times.
Yeah, okay. I personally with the youth, it's a little bit different. Yeah, we looked at rebounds and especially free throws both ways. So how much we give up and how many we give up and how many we force or how many we get. So yeah, but these are other than free throws with youth, it's the same areas we look at in the senior national team and youth.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think these depends on the team, depends on a game plan. But for us, it's kind of main criteria.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at the game against Finland before the final, is there something that you remember you're looking at, you were concerned about?
Well, again, we were talking a lot about if you go down for defensive rebounds. So we like the whole tournament actually, not only for after the Finland game. Okay, 10 of 35, it's okay, but still, it's one point we really emphasized, kind of boxing out, getting rebounds so we can go. And like I already said, also against Turkey and the whole tournament, also going to the offensive board, because again, creating extra possession, creating extra shots, that's what we always look at, no matter who's the next opponent. So that doesn't really, I mean, okay, if it's not as satisfying as we want it to be, we kind of talk about it more. But even if it is, we kind of say, okay, we did a great job there. But again, now next game we have to do it all over again, and we need these extra possessions. We need these. I mean, against Finland, yeah, you have 31 free throws. It's obviously really good if you're aggressive, if you create free throws. We shot more 3s and 2s, which is also what we wanted. But I mean, okay. On the other hand, Finland also plays higher pace than Turkey, so it was expected that both teams shoot more and have
actually
more.
Exactly the same amount of shots. 35 and 33, 35 and 33. So it was a fast-paced game equally.
Really fast-paced game, but in this game, I think we had is 7 is the number of turnovers. Yeah, it's something I remember that we really didn't turn the ball over, even with a high-paced game, and 23 assists to 7 turnovers is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was
it's almost 3-1. That's a great ratio. All right, everybody. So proballs.com, that's the nerdy platform for basketball nerds that like statistics. Go and have fun.
It's more than 3 assist turnover, so it's more than 3. It's not.
Yeah, more than 3. Yeah, sorry. My math took us to 20. Yeah, it's more than 3. So youth competition, coaching Germans youth and being in Germany for a while. What's the thing? What are the things you notice over the course of, let's say, the last 20, 25 years, the change in scouting in Germany and development in German youth basketball?
Ooh, I would say everything.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Changed.
Yeah,
everything changed. I mean, obviously started with I think everything started with this introduction of the rule that you need 6 Germans in the BBL, and because in the end, no matter what you do, you need to bring players at the highest level like senior level. So, and it's still the biggest challenge for us, like this transfer. And I don't think only for us. I think in general in Europe, like how do you get a good and talented youth player into solid and not? I mean, our goal is not developing role players. Obviously, that's also a little bit. I say it's a bit contradictory. My job and like what the clubs do, because they need young players who help them win, who best case defend, maybe make some shots, but don't complain and just like fulfill their role. And our job is to find next Dennis Schroeder, next Franz Wagner, next Dirk Nowitzki, if you go back, so to find the talented kid who will, even in young age, get big responsibility, get like trust from a coach to perform and to make decisions on the highest level. So it's not easy, and that's still one of the biggest challenges. But again, going back when I started, I remember first under 16 year, it was generation 97, 98. I was browsing through numbers, statistics of youth league under 16. And first thing I realized, no one was really shooting threes. I think like, I can't remember, but I probably exaggerate now, but in my memory now, like the teams have like 10 to 12 shots a game, like 3-point shots a game. And I was like, I mean, how we gonna, like, how you can't play, in my opinion, you can't play basketball without shooting even 15 or 20 years ago. And if you look now, they shoot more. I mean, you have, I think every game or every round in the youth leagues, you have one player who takes 10 or 12 3-point shots. So, and everybody's shooting more and more. And I think that's for me kind of one number that's kind of strikes what changed. I think the young kids are more, I mean, maybe we have more talent, but we always had talent. But I think it's just now the general level of basketball is a bit higher. Like every kid is able to do something. And of course, because also the coach is not only teaching, but also they let him. As I was younger, again, you had like one or two more talented kids. They could do everything they want, and everyone else was watching. And I remember, again, going back to the 3-point shooting as I was playing, like every time you had a ball, like coach was screaming, go to the basket, go to the basket. And yeah, so that's one big difference. But again, I think everything started with this introduction of a rule for the highest league that they have 6 Germans, because now kids saw some kind of perspective, some kind of future in basketball. Because before this generation, I mean, I know I looked it up a couple of times. I know Shafatzik, King, and maybe I could find like 2 or 3 more players in a whole generation who became professional basketball players because you didn't have any chance. Again, transformation from the youth to the senior player is tough, and then you didn't have any rules, so you always had like college players or foreign players from other European countries or older German guys, and there was just no chance, no future, no perspective whatsoever. So kids just quit playing basketball, and that was a pretty tough time for German.
Yeah, that's one thing I also observed. Like I was in the midst of it. The selection process was different back then, also in terms of like selecting and scouting early mature kids that come in and dominate youth levels and then don't develop. And then
it's still not over, but it's changing.
Yeah, it's changed. Like it's a different. The younger, the underdeveloped kids get a chance at least. You know, back then they were weeded out because they were not ready to compete against physical kids.
Yep.
But then also I remember maybe not what was good, like the 6 and 6 rule, but what was bad was the 10 and 2 rule. You know, when they slowly from there they started to go down from 10 and 2, 10 foreigners and 2 Germans to progressing down to 6 and 6, because we were in the Pro A at that time, and we could observe that rule was taking away time and, like you said, hope for German basketball, for German players, and only a few players that were actually contributors. You know, and you had a lot of the quality of the BBL was also, let's say, not because a lot of Americans that came that played at the lower end of the rotation, they were also maybe not as skilled or not like team oriented, let's say, you know, and you could see that there was the basketball itself was suffering a little bit from that. And now you have a really good balance between the two, where there's a little bit of also like you said, a ladder from JBBL, NBBL, then maybe you go to Pro A, and then you have a chance to play in the BBL if you don't go immediately there. But how did you see the impact of the JBBL and NBBL in Germany?
Okay, I was going to say that I was like a second step, or after this 6-6 rule, is the introduction of first the MBBL, and then a couple of years later JBBL, like under 19 and under 16 National League. It changed a lot as well, because just the perception in the basketball community was different, because they had like a website, everything was more, you could see it, you could look it up, who plays when, who are the players, make just more and more, also more interesting, and just also play against the teams from other part of, if you're in Berlin, okay, outside Berlin, or if you live somewhere else, other part of the country. And just making a professional league, I think it was a huge step for German basketball, and I think it still helps. But again, it takes time. Everything takes time, and I think now you can say that that was a pretty good decision. And then clubs started, or the league started, also forcing clubs to have full-time coaches in these youth teams and youth departments. And now the next step is trying to establish kind of connection to schools, and even some like Alba does a great job. So kindergartens, like to make basketball visible in also in a society. I think that's one big aspect of developing the game. That's kind of, it's a football country for sure, and it will never change, but still doing whatever your kind of capabilities or abilities is to do to improve connections to society, to people outside of our bubble. I think it's that's the next step we have to take, and also hopefully use this good feeling and just let's say hype.
For
But
sure.
basketball national team right now.
For sure. Yeah, there was hype moments in the past, like early 90s when they won it. There was a hype. There was like a lot of focus from the German Federation onto the street basketball. I remember there was a lot of attention to street ball, to get them from the streets into the gym. I remember. Then there was that around Dirk Nowitzki, that whole era. That was a big hype, and now, so like this generation obviously has a big impact. And
For sure.
people may, I mean, you're a full-time employee of the German Federation, and during the season, when there's not some summer tournament time, you travel around, you watch games, you watch practices, you observe, you talk to coaches. What are some, let's say, like common things maybe that you see that coaches at the early stages of youth development make mistakes on, that you have to like kind of adjust or veer them into the right direction, that you see like that shouldn't be done, that's how it should be done, or there's certain things that you can that jump out at you right away?
Yeah, I mean, there's this simple sentence which everybody knows, but no, not really everybody kind of lives by. It's teach them how to play basketball, not don't teach them plays. So that's still one issue. I think again, it's also getting better, but this I wouldn't say pressure, but people want to win, and then they don't always kind of weigh how much I have to do, and focus myself on developing the kids and helping them actually become better players like when they end up like when they end the development, because it's not easy if you're coaching under 12, under 14. It's not easy,
Yeah.
because even if a player becomes a really good player and you have like a huge responsibility, no one knows. And it's kind of, you have to be certain type of guy, or of a human being to accept it, to say, hey, I'm gonna do everything I can to make him become a better player, no matter if I get like any respect or anything.
Recognition.
Not
Yeah.
yeah. So right now everything's about winning. I mean, okay, it's not also not bad, because it is competition, and I love competition too, but it's tough. And if you in order to win, do everything, like run different sets, complicated sets, and you win, okay, then everybody's happy, parents are happy, players are happy, you are happy, but it's not really like, in my opinion, it's not what these age groups are for. They are for to make kind of to start fundamental, like lay some fundamentals for future development. And that's for sure one big part, still one big issue for us, but it's changed. It's still changing. It's much better. And a lot of very good coaches on a young level. So I hope that we'll continue this way, because we focus or we emphasize this every time we speak to someone. You already mentioned this, kids were ahead of their time of the or the kids were behind. We have to
Mm-hmm.
focus more on them as well, to try, like, talent identification is a big word for us. Like that's for me the main responsibility of young, or not young coaches, but of coaches in young age, to identify or try to identify through tests, but also through your experience, who are the players who, like, really the most talented to be, like, good in 6 to 8 years, which is not easy, but that's this responsibility. That's the task, in my opinion.
What
So
certain specific tests you run, or is that like just
yeah,
general
there are some standardized tests we have with the federation. We have some partners as well, where we try to test different things. It's, I mean, basically first are the normal ones, heights, like size and weight and everything. But we do
Yeah.
we try to get information on the kids, on the families, like
Mm-hmm.
how tall parents and or the grandparents even.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do some speed tests, jumping, some coordination, also some cognitive tests. So everything we can. So kind of try to use everything there is around. You can get to get a better feeling, or to confirm your eye, or your
The eye
feeling.
test, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's because it's the only one. Because it's never, in my opinion, it's never black or white. It's still a fight we or conversation we have. You cannot test everything. Yeah, that's right. And we don't want to close our eyes and then just take the numbers and then say these are the kids we want to take. But just you look at them, you still, I think
Mhm.
it's the best parameter or best thing, just the feeling if you have experience. But then you can see, okay, some numbers confirm your opinion, or maybe some numbers contradict your opinion, and then you can
Mhm.
go, like, deeper and look, yeah, what is the issue? Why is it something I'm missing, or was there something I'm missing? This kid is actually supposed to be much better than that I have a feeling he is. So this is a huge plays a huge role in our daily work. Again, just making people aware of these different problems. Kids accelerated kids, early developed kids, these tests. Then again, talking about decision making, talking about making mistakes. Basically, everything. Youth basketball is not a, like, reduced version of a pro basketball or for
Yep.
senior basketball. It's not.
Yeah.
It's completely different sports, completely different approaches is required, in my opinion. And just kind of talking to people, making like they are aware of it. I mean, in the end, everyone has to make it his own decision or her own decision, like how they want to work. But our job is to, yeah, make the point in this direction.
Yeah, I think the first thing you said about youth development was also I think it's an issue everywhere, but in Lithuania it's
Yeah.
also I can confirm, attest to that, because of the coaches want to succeed as well. There's a certain success and drive that you have as a coach, and you want to win games, and you want to focus on your career as well to an
I
extent.
understand, but again, I think this is what I always say. It's not black and white. When I step, like, before the game, I want to win. If I'm coaching under 10 or
Yeah,
under 14,
yeah,
I don't care. But the question is, like, what do you do before? Like, the week before, you can work in different ways. There is not only if you run, I don't know, 5 great sets in under 14, it still doesn't mean you necessarily win.
yeah.
And the other way around, if you just run a practice, what I would see as like a good practice for youth, again, talking about decision making, playing fast, a lot of turnovers as well. You have to accept these. You can still win, especially I think in like short period, like short time. You will see kids that will
Hmm.
go up. Also, the level of confidence, everything. Because I mean, it's again, are you trying to avoid mistakes, or are you trying to succeed? It's kind of,
Hmm.
I think the second one makes you progress and improve faster.
Yeah, one thing I think that plays a role also is to have a solid salary for the coaches, for the youth coaches, not for them to be like struggling to put not food on the table, but in general, just like getting by, then obviously they're gonna get tired of doing that, and they want to have like a quicker progression of their own career. But giving them security and giving them a good salary, and now that this is your role, work on it 3 to 5 years, and let's develop this generation into the next steps, and see. Then you can also see the coaches' talent as well. If you give them time.
Yeah, I think Germany's like, if you compare it with the other European countries, pretty good, because there are some rules also. On the other side, of course, like the standard in Germany is also pretty high. So if you work outside of basketball, there's a big chance you'll get a better salary. So it's kind of, you can have a full-time job, and like there are a lot of full-time basketball coach jobs in Germany, but they're not like as well paid as some, let's call them, or not call them normal jobs, just call them jobs outside of basketball, outside of sports.
They have to be passionate, first of all. They have to be passionate about the game, and then if you incentivize good job and good work with a good salary and stability, I think that's a good combination for success. And then if he's also talented in selecting the right players and investing and developing and has that skill set, I think then you have a good foundation for youth development as well.
For sure. And you need to develop these coaches as well. You need to help.
Yeah.
You cannot give him with everything you say. If you just give him everything you say, but you don't really support them or help them also, like develop them, then it's going to be tough, because then they have to swim on their own. Maybe they will after some time, but I think it's good to have people like help you, and just you can just talk to. I mean, just I think you have to learn every day, and you learn, in my opinion, most if you watch and talk to other people and see what you like or also what you don't like. That's what I also try to say. I would like tell everyone, or recommend to everyone, like just listen to everybody. Even if you discover some things you don't like, you don't want to use, okay, that's also like a big step, because I saw this, I didn't like it, I'm not going to use it. But yeah, I don't know. I have people, like, I have a feeling people are more talking than listening. So it's kind of, I think it's a mistake if you want to become a better coach.
Yeah, the more talking and listening is bad. Like you have to be able to absorb information and make your own, like listening and forming an opinion along the way, and not feeling like you have to. You already know everything from the get go. And I think underrated aspect of coaching is the ability to share and to be willing to exchange information, to be open to other coaches as well, and see what the experiences are. Because
and to players also to listen.
Yes, exactly. You learn, like a lot of top coaches also say that they learn the most from players, because also they never played, most likely, like some coaches played at the highest level, but a lot of coaches didn't play at the highest level, and they can learn from the high level players of what they see and how they feel in certain situations, and it's the ability to translate that into your coaching language to their playing language, and finding the dynamic between each other. I think there's a lot of underrated aspects to coaching, that the ability 100%. to process information.
But to listen, and like you said, to not act. Okay, I think it's also a little bit like a protection, because you act, you know everything, you don't know. Yeah. I mean, I remember one moment that was I don't know, the year like 15 years ago with Gordy Herbert in Alba. And I was coaching for, I don't know, I played and everything, but that was the first time. And then it's like Alba, one of the best clubs in Germany. Coach saying, I don't know, like, and that was like, okay, sure, why should he? Like, he cannot, that would be a lie, if you can pretend you know everything, answer to every question. And he said, I don't know what it was. I think even like in a practice, player would say, I don't know what's going to happen. That I mean, it's a small thing, but it helped me a lot, because of course, and you don't have to act like. And again, talking to coaches, different coaches, I don't think it helps. If you act like you knew everything, because you don't, and it's not a sign of weakness, but in my opinion, at least, a sign of strength. If you kind of admit, okay, I didn't know that, or I thank you, or whatever. Because I think a lot of people see it as like a sign of weakness, and they want to avoid it, and then it's why they pretend they know everything, and they don't ask, but they rather explain.
That's a big big part is insecurity. Like feeling secure or insecure with yourself, and that kind of gives you the ability to tell the players that, okay, like this in this situation, I don't let's just we can also discuss. Like being able to see what they see, what I see, and then kind of find a common ground. The more insecure a coach is, the less he wants to show that he doesn't know something, so that the players don't turn against him. But in reality, you gain respect if you have enough knowledge to back up other parts of the coaching, and certain aspects maybe you don't know. I mean, you have to be prepared to kind of like see what they usually do, what this team usually does from the defensive philosophy, but they can also do this. So let's like you have to be able to be flexible in that aspect.
Yep.
We're coming slowly to an end. You know how I know?
It's getting louder behind me.
No, my coffee is getting to an end. That's why it's good. No, in general, before we finish, I still wanted to do the ATOs for you. So I always do the ATOs, and that's something that everybody goes through. So I'm gonna draw my philosophical ATOs, and you're gonna reply with the first things that come to mind, and quick Q&A basically.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I call it ATOs because it's like it's supposed to be a quick one.
All right.
Quick hitters. The top 3 inspirational people in your life.
Oh, that can come quick. It doesn't come quick. I wouldn't connect to basketball, so probably my wife, my parents, my kids.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's how it is. It's what the first things that come to mind.
Because that's not the first thing that came to my mind, because I've been thinking about a lot, like a basketball perspective, but I don't have like coaches or in general people who kind of inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you see now, but it's coming later. As a player, obviously, growing up in Yugoslavia, Dražen Petrović was inspiration for everyone. But yeah, it's been a while, so I forgot. So I take the first 3.
One skill you wish you had.
What skill I wish I had? But to speak all languages in the world and understand.
That'd be huge. Biggest pet peeve as a coach. Something that annoys you the most. Like the thing I get annoyed by the most, if you're talking about basketball, is sleepy, like phlegmatic players, and in life, I get annoyed by wobbly coffee tables in the cafe.
Oh, bad excuses.
Excuses, yeah. If you had to teach a class in basketball tomorrow, what would it be on?
Decision making. That was fast. For me, that's especially, again, talking about youth basketball. That's for me number 1.
When do you know you're pushing yourself too much?
When my assistant coach tells me that.
When do you know you're pushing the team too much?
Okay, that's take the former answer. I don't know if I'm pushing myself too much. I don't know. That would be the same answer, let's say.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing, it was more related to the team, not to myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the Tim Ferriss question that I asked everybody. What's your favorite failure? Something that you made a mistake on in the past that was a big mistake, but you look at it as a long-term success in regards, and you're kind of glad you made that mistake.
Well, probably starting doing this as a job. There was a lot of times I asked myself, "Ooh, that was not a really smart idea." And again, especially talking about Germany, when you have, like, if you take a job outside of sports, it's better, probably easier life and better money than in basketball. But that will be the one.
Okay. Alan Ibrahimagic. That's right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, how can you don't have social media? How can people find you if they want to contact you?
Not at all. Don't find
No, not at all. Okay, all right.
Email, phone, but yeah.
It's private.
In a gym.
In the gym, in person. That's the only way.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, everybody. Bye.